7. It's ABC Western Plains. Lots of conversation at the moment in regard to aged care and the brand new laws that came in to look at things like 24-hour nursing and making sure there are more staff available. Well, inside the Gilgandra aged care facility, offshore training and placement of Filipino aged care workers is having a significant positive impact, where Gilgandra has brought on an incredible amount of workers. Across the country, 500 Filipino healthcare professionals is now working in 25 regional and remote Australian towns, filling critical workforce gaps. Now, for Gil, it was $300,000 for the council annually for casualty agency staff. How's it all turned around and how's it going inside the facility? Donna Dobson is the Director of Aged Care and Disability for Gilshire Council, joins me forward today. G'day, Donna.
G'day, how are you?
I'm really well, thanks. Yeah. This was a very bold experiment. It's obviously paid off in dividends. How have you made it work, do you think?
Yeah, look, we actually did a really tight business case before we made the decision because it was such a financial investment. I guess the dividends that we have is we now have a currently full roster at our residential aged care, which is amazing. We've also been able to manage to integrate our workers in our community, and so far so good. No negative backlash, except I would say some community members were concerned about housing, which regional remote is major.
Yeah, always a factor. I think everything that we've spoken about, everything from aged care to renewables, there's always that concern. But how do you think that has gone?
Yeah, no, good. We've utilised 4 houses, 2 privately rentals and 2 that council already had secured prior to them arriving for staff for council. So they've been shared housing. That's been working well. I think the big overlay is that what they've brought to our community, what they've brought to our residential aged care facility, in the sense of complete rosters, their personalities, their joy, their commitment to the job, their work ethic has been phenomenal. Really has been.
Now, inside the aged care facility, there are a lot of older members of the community, of course. How have they received the workers?
Yeah, we've not had any backlash from any of our residents. In fact, we just recently met with our residents to do a bit of a follow-up to see how things were going from their perspective, and 100% positive feedback. There was no negative feedback from the residents at all. And in fact, most of them said they're just so lovely. They just were really overwhelmingly supportive of the Filipino workers.
We have so many aged care nurses that do some incredible work inside these facilities, but it seems to me that the Filipino workers, alongside by side the current workers, are building a new style of community. Have things changed a lot since these workers have come in?
Oh, look, I think the workers that we already had were doing amazing work. I think the thing that's changed is that the pressure of working understaffed or short-staffed has changed. So that allows for our Australian workers to feel really supported, really joyous when they're at work because they're not feeling the stress of, oh my gosh, I can't get it done because there's not enough of us. So I think that's changed. And the other thing that's really changed at Gil is we now do karaoke on Sunday afternoons.
How is that received?
Really well. It's a bit of silly fun, and the Filipinos love their karaoke. The Australians can't drink at work, so don't really join in as much. But, yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that those styles, particularly there you mentioned the existing workers, don't have the pressures. I mean, we are talking about aged care, and, care with a capital C there is making sure that these residents not only feel supported and they have everything they need medically and physically, but the emotional status obviously has changed and the well-being feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Just I think having a full complement of staff just changes the whole feel and nature of what happens in the facility every day. There's not that rushing. The residents don't feel rushed. The staff don't feel rushed. People feel like they can stop, take the time to have a chat, go the extra mile to make sure the residents are feeling well and loved and happy. And it's been really lovely to see.
Now, the good news is that you've considered this such a success that you'll bring on some more workers. How many more?
Yeah, we're just crunching our numbers at the moment, but we're looking for our home care clients and our disability teams as well that we have. Probably looking at around 8 to 10. Obviously, housing being one of our biggest issues, and like everyone else, we're really going to struggle to find housing for them if we bring them over. So we're working with the Commonwealth on that, and hopefully we'll be able to have something to announce around that in the near future.
Yeah, there is some discussion there in the Gilgandra budgets at least and the council meetings about looking at some parcels of land. So I know the council's been actively working on that, not just for these workers, but of course to build your community too and make sure Gilgandra is ready for the future. And that probably does bring the other question is, many of these workers have come without their families. Are they keen to bring their families across?
Absolutely. We've been working with each Filipino worker. We've kind of developing a plan for them to help them be able to get their families across. We've now just had our 482 temporary school visas given to us, and the next for them will be permanent visas, of course, if that's what they want. But the 482 allows them to bring their families across, which that's a big achievement. And now we've just got to look at how can they afford that, how can they support their families when they get here, where would they live, schooling, all of the rest of stuff that goes on.
Donna Dobson, thanks for your time this morning.
No worries, thank you.
Much appreciated. Donna Dobson there, the Director of Aged Care and Disability for the Gilgandra Shire Council, with that project going leaps and bounds. It's ABC Western Plains, 7:25. It's the 11th of June.